Smite fans. I've got the Oni Warriors with me today. It's the think tank of the Oni Warriors. We've got the mechanical prowess, we've got the roster making potential, and we've got the ADC extraordinaire. That's Netroid, Genetics, and Panatom around the table. Fellas, coming off a 6-0 weekend. How's that feeling?
Another day on the office, I will say.
Yeah, I mean, it feels pretty good, to 6-0 in a full week, especially against a team like Kings, for example, like defending world champs. And yeah, I think we're running to the right direction, I would say. So yeah, feels good.
You've been happy with the advancements of the team. I know when you made the change initially, I'm talking Jake for Genetics, it was leadership and shot calling. You don't look at him right now. Look at me. Has he been doing what you wanted?
Yeah, I mean, it's been a great addition because it has everyone is like kind of coming, shot calling and everything. So yeah, it feels better. But of course, personally, I always want to like do better as a team. So even if we 6-0, for example, last week, I feel like we should be doing better and better every week. So.
I think you do much better than 6-0. And they were short sets too. But was the Gladiators like an hour in-game time just about? It's like 25 minutes was maybe the longest game. King set went a little bit longer, but maybe could have gone shorter. But you got a God request, if I understand that correctly.
Not actually.
Not actually.
Yeah, I actually just wanted to play it.
Yeah.
Fun.
But so it's the Anhur support for you, and that's something you've been playing in ranked recently. Because when you broke it out, I'm casting that game, and I'm just thinking to myself, this looks like he's been practicing it. Like this looks like something he's been doing. Like you made an active decision, 1, to play it in a competitive game, 2, ruin all the ranked games for the rest of the weekend. Like, what's up with that? Is Anhur support like real? Is that a real thing?
Well, it's definitely fun. I mean, I think after people started banning Kepri emoji, I had a bit of a lack of a god pull, and that's because all my practice was going into Anhur and Freya support in ranked. I've now decided to swap the Freya and Anhur support in ranked for proper Guardians. Oh, that's my phone. Bollocks. Yeah, no, it's just fun. And I've played it a lot. I think I'm positive. I think I haven't lost a game with it in scrims yet, but doesn't really mean much.
How many scrims are we dedicating to Freya?
Oh, you don't want to know.
No Freya, but like
no Freya.
2 or 3 on her. 2 or 3 on her, I think.
Yeah, it has been
maybe. I think I lost one last week actually, so probably not positive now, but it's just fun.
How does it make you feel, Panny? You're sitting in scrims. You gotta wait.
I hate it.
Yeah.
Like for example, I pick my jungler. I have to play against Aries, Ganesh, and then the other jungler has to play against like Anhur. It's like, sure, that's fair.
Yeah, they're like playing Kepri or something. You roll through the lane, they revive, give them
they shell mid, and then my Anhur is like, oh, I miss Impale. Good luck.
But that's what you get with Genetics sometimes, right? He's just going to come in, he's going to want to play what he wants to play. But God Pool has never been an issue for you, Genetics. I mean, I remember Season 9 championship run, 5 dedicated Genetics bans every time. Is your goal now to get Anhur on that ban list? Is it roll into Worlds Finals? Like, I need to see an Anhur ban or what?
Not really. I mean, my biggest problem is always like the struggle to adapt. Like, I was late on the Ganesh this year. I was late on the Nox and the Afro. When I know the meta and I can grind it for 10 hours in a ranked, I know I'll be the best on the top 5 characters. But I'm always late to adapt, so Anhur's probably not going to be one of the top 5 gods.
You're just trying to trend set. You're trying to get ahead of it now.
Yeah, well, I just know like I've got more gods now. I'm pretty sure I'm comfortable with my top 5 again, like I was for Worlds. Fair
enough. Netroid, how does it make you feel having to lane with that?
Is it the Anhur?
Yeah,
the Anhur?
Does it feel like, okay, it's like, oh yeah, we got like a pressure lane now? Or is it like, man, he's taking my last hits, he's impaling the wave?
I mean, it feels good because if you get an impel on a support that doesn't have a jump or maybe his jump is down, you can just body block. Like Sam will just pillar into stun into the wall and body block and he's pretty much dead. So it's fun when it comes to like going for 2v2s, going for kills and everything. But when it reaches to late game, it's kind of like, you kind of rely on the pillar stun every single time.
Yeah, you kind of hang out in the back line. You're like, man, my support's standing next to my ADC back there. Nobody's getting any of the defense.
Peel for me. Oh, I miss impale. Oh, I'm dead.
Yeah. So walk me through the Gladiator set, boys. Like, how much prep went into the Gladiator set? What did it go exactly as you had hoped? Did you want it to be faster? I don't think that it could have been much faster. Well, what's the takeaway there from the first 3-0? Nothing nice to
don't
say.
know. Yeah.
I mean, we wanted, I think against Glass, we wanted to make the game, we wanted to end at 17 minutes, I think.
Oh, 16 minutes.
16 minutes?
Oh, yeah, that
Okay.
happened.
Because
Was
someone-
game 2? No, game 3.
No, game 3, because
game
someone
3.
said, like,
Yeah.
what's the fastest game in history of SPL? And someone said, like, 17 or 18, if I'm not
can't
mistaken.
remember.
And
And we
we tried to end the
tried, okay,
16.
we have time, let's do fire, let's
And
do
then
this.
my Kepri missed the pool.
Kepri missed the pool and we could have ended.
Yeah.
Probably wouldn't have ended anyway.
Yeah, probably not.
Yeah, but, we're just blaming someone.
I mean, we do less prep for worse teams and like less important matchups. We don't do that much as well. Like if for example, like Glads, they lose on everything they play, so you can't really take stats from that. Like let's say look at like Leviathans or like Ferryman, who again I think that are the top 3 teams alongside us. If you see like
Well, hold on, give it to me in order. If you've just got the top 3, like what's 1, 2, 3?
us, Ferryman, Levi's.
Fair,
Levi's are playing
fair.
better now, but I think Ferryman will be better than Levi's when it comes to tournament time.
Describe the gaps too. Is it like us, Levi's, Ferryman, or is it like us, Levi's, Ferryman?
I think like us 3 are quite close in different
Okay.
ways, and then there's a massive gap between top 3 and the rest of the league.
Fair enough.
But no, we're pretty close, just different positives and negatives. But like Leviathans, let's say like Ronnie had like a 80% win ratio on Ganesh, you can go, okay, well, we should ban Ganesh then. But if they've got 0% on everything, then what are you going to do? You know, you can't just like, you can't,
Pray for more bans.
yeah. So against the Glads, we did less prep and we just wanted to play. And I think third game, when you're 2-0 up against the worst team, you want to try something out. So we tried the Emma mid. Whether it's whether it's fun or not, there is an idea behind it, hopefully. Otherwise, you're just trolling at that point.
Yeah, I mean, execution-wise, the Amma mid, I mean, it didn't look too dissimilar to something like a Sad or just like an Assassin run-it-down style.
Yeah.
So I think it made some decent sense. You did have the analyst desk, and this is something you guys do to the analyst desk every single time with your P's and B's, is where are these picks going to go? Is this Chernobog going to Sot? Is this Anhur going to Genetics? Or this Amaterasu, where she's going to be? And I think there is like a certain degree of value to that, in that how flexible your team is. Like, if we're guessing on the desk, that means your enemies are probably guessing, unless you're just running it in scrims all the time. Is that something that you guys are leaning into? Do you want to be that unpredictable squad, or is it just we're really good, we're having a little bit of fun?
I believe we kind of want to be the unpredictable team, because it's like really hard to draft against that. Like, imagine you first pick Mori and you don't know if it's gonna be solo. You don't know if you have to ban solo laners, second phase, or mid laners, and that can happen like with a lot of gods. For example, with the Pele, a lot of teams were like flexing Pele. I'm pretty sure we can even flex that Pele in 2 more roles. So.
Yeah, and it's always funny because every time you pick something, like someone,
don't even know.
we don't know. Someone just say, "Oh, we can triple flex it."
Yeah, we don't even know which role is going.
We just pick it and say, "Okay, I can play it." And the other one, "Oh, I can play as well."
Fair enough. That's so interesting. A lot of teams, when I ask them like, how does composition work, they say, you know, we got this one pick and we know that's going to go in the jungle, then we want to build a draft around it and facilitate it. But it seems like you guys are picks first. Let's figure out the draft a little bit later on. That is really interesting. It does open up the door to a lot of adaptability. So you didn't prep as hard for the Gladiators. The Kings, what's the prep look like for that? Are we trying to restrict a certain
That
player?
guy.
That guy.
All genetics,
Yeah,
huh?
I know the Kings. I know the Kings pretty well. I
Okay.
like. I think I know like how they draft. Like I was a big part of it. So I just said against the Kings, just let me take over, and I think I know what they're going to do against us. So.
It looked pretty good. It really did.
Again, like they're going through a rough patch, so I don't want to brag too much. Like they're going through a rough patch, and it's like it was easy for us because they had a big change. Like I was a big part of that team. Quick's gonna have to get warmed up and get used to the players that he's around. So obviously we won against those guys, but it doesn't really mean much to us. Like unless we're being top teams, I don't really care who we beat.
Fair enough.
It's meaningless.
And the last time I checked in with you guys, I'd ask, what's the hallmark for success? I think it was a unanimous agreement that it's Worlds. So you're looking at Worlds. It's not exactly about the win streak anymore. I believe 15 with the previous iteration. You guys got up to 6 before you dropped 1 set.
Yeah.
Well, you don't seem too happy about
Well, it was
it.
my fault we lost that set. So again, like I didn't pick all draft. Again, my goal wasn't big enough for us to win that set. So no, I'm not particularly happy about it. But I know where the team has to improve mostly, which is the only thing that I enjoy, and I know why we lost. And it was once we fixed that, things have been pretty easy since. So it's not a bad thing. You want to lose before Worlds.
Yeah.
At least.
Yeah.
Smart. So we've got eyes set on Worlds. Obviously, you've already got who you think the biggest competition is going into it as well. So let's just jump into team dynamic, because I think it's always super interesting to hear how new players slot into teams, or maybe the new player perspective on a team dynamic that's there. And Netrid, I want to start with you. How has the team dynamic changed with genetics? Does it feel like maybe things are a little bit goofier now, like maybe the picks are alleging, or is it we're a little bit more regimented? Is he a bully? Is he mean? Does he stink? Like, give me all the details.
Well, scrims wise, I don't think it has changed that much because we always we have some people that running it down, some lanes. So.
I feel like it changed a bit, honestly.
I mean,
I feel like after the change, like 2 persons, I'm not gonna say names. They are not in this room though. I feel like they got like pretty confident with the team and they're running it down like more and more. And I feel like they kinda are disrespecting the enemies by playing like that, because I'm pretty sure they think we have a sick team. That's like my point of view, because like I can tell you when I joined the Onis, they were like grinding like a lot and they were like playing so well, so disciplined, and now they don't care, man. I swear they don't care.
Usually it's like me, Royd, Penny doing Fire Giant, and it's my solo and mid instantly dying the second they get the buff.
We saw that in the Kings set. We actually called it out on the cast because it happened twice in a row. It was SOT and Pagon running it down on the Phoenix. They got picked there. You guys are 3 grouped on the left side. I think you were pushing Titan. And then they respawn. They return to the scene of the crime. Exact same spot. Enemy speed buff. Right side Phoenix. They get wiped again.
Yeah.
Like, what's comms like in a minute like that? Is it, hey, reel it in, boys. Come on. Like let's close it out? Or is it?
It is kind of a reel it in thing. For me, it's like if you can switch on and off, I don't really mind too much. But if it's like a perpetual thing where you're going to keep doing it, it's obviously a problem. Yeah, you need to know how to have fun, of course. But there's a time to be
not
serious.
struggling for that right now on the Oni Warriors, clearly.
No.
So he doesn't stink or anything. Oh, you're still staying in the same. You haven't moved in with the Warriors, have you?
I live with Royd.
yeah.
I live with Royd and
now.
Snoopy.
And
Royd and
Snoopy.
Snoopy.
We've got our own
Okay.
apartment.
That's an interesting little dynamic. The 3-man housing there.
Well, Snoopy was coming down because his visa got approved and it was going to be cheaper. And I got
fair
told I
enough.
had to move out from the Kings, obviously, because they're picking up a new player. So it made sense. And then we were close to the other guys as well now. So like if you're going to be a team, you should be close at least.
Yeah. So you got the dual lane in one house. How's it elsewhere, Penny? Are you sharing, or you got your own place, or what?
Yeah, I'm just sharing with Otzi.
Oxy?
Just me
Okay.
and Otzi, yeah.
So is that Sot and Pagon together?
And
Yeah,
Jake.
and
Yeah.
Jake.
Well, that's why they're so goofy, man. They got that brother mentality now. Like, they get out of scrims, they just yuck it up. Probably, I wouldn't be surprised if they're the type to like record it and laugh about it later or something like that.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. They're pretty goofy in game, but Daniel sometimes does like get serious on occasion, and
I can't
Sot's
imagine
always
that.
grinding. Yeah, sometimes he just like he'll like type after 5,000 scrims, like guys, like he'll just type something like proper serious, and then you'll meet him the next day, and he's just goofy again.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Who's like the secret serious? Like, is there someone on the team that's like always sweating? I feel like for you guys that might just be Oxy.
Penny.
Is it? Are you
Penny.
always sweating?
Yeah.
Fair enough.
He always wants to pick the best god. He always wants to pick the best con.
And that's why he's got the best KD right now too, isn't it? I mean,
For me, like, not even like I want to play, for example, let's say Susanoo is like the best god in the game. Like, I'm going to play this. I'm like to the point, like, okay, if Susanoo is going to be like first pick, I'm going to practice whatever is good into that. And I always try to get like the best I can for practice or to learn. So
that's a good mentality. I mean, that's an OG mentality too. Netrod, I know you've been playing competitively Smite since season 2, I believe, or maybe even before that, or is it?
Competitive Smite, I started with Pani. We have the same.
Oh, same history.
Same
How long have
history.
you guys been at it?
we started playing season 6.
Five.
Season 6?
Oh, six.
No.
I could have swore you guys were playing back in like the international scene as well, like a little bit before that too, or are you just counting SPL, or what's going on?
No, we started. We made the team like season 5 because I remember season 5.
It was season 4, I think.
No, it was
You
season
guys,
5.
you guys have been around for a while.
Who won in season 5? Like Worlds? It was a Splice.
Do you remember the meta?
It was Splice.
Splice.
Yeah,
Do you remember?
Yeah, I think it was when Splice came out like world champions, because I remember we used to screen them actually at the end of the year.
Yeah.
And after that, we started playing on the SGC. It was.
Yeah,
called?
it was a
It was on
LATAM.
the LATAM
Yeah,
team. Yeah, it was only. I mean, on the SPL it was only Netro and me and 3 other different dudes. And then they removed the LATAM scene and make it. You can go to the SML from LATAM, and then we made the team with Shinton Rongyu, and then Sanguine came up.
And the rest is history.
Yeah.
The rest is history. Genix, when was your start? I feel like you maybe started a little bit later compared to some of the other European
Kind of.
players.
Well, I played the alpha or the beta or whatever, and then I just quit for 3 years, and I started playing around season 3 again, and I was like platinum or something. I started trying to play comp around season 4, but I had a job working in a hotel, so I got kicked off that
What
team.
were you doing at the hotel, if you don't mind my
I
asking?
was like an events like worker, so I just
Oh,
did
that's
whatever
cool.
they needed. So like weddings, funerals, like school events, work events. I just did all the stuff like behind the bar, serving food.
Sure, yeah.
so I didn't have time to scrim because I worked like every weekend, and I worked a lot of hours like for a kid. So I didn't get any like proper teams, and then I think my first team was a friendship team called Thin Evil.
Okay.
And that was like season 4, I think.
Any notable names on that squad that we might recognize?
I mean, to me, Moex was on it for a little bit. Moex was like an old...
Oh, Moex, yeah, that dude's OG.
Yeah. I mean, Lucas was really good. I mean, no, you wouldn't know the names, but they were. I enjoyed playing with them, and I was really good friends with them. And then I got picked up by Insignia once half level went to SK, and that's where my career started, I guess, properly.
Fair enough. So you guys are the more OGs, huh?
Kind of, I would say our careers kind of went at the same time though, because I mean, me and Panthon were DMing like 5 years ago. I don't even know why.
We played when I was we were in Sanguine. We never could play with Jarkor because he didn't have his visa.
Yeah.
And we always play against this guy every single time.
We beat them. We beat them in summer when they had a solo, and they beat us at Worlds.
Yeah.
This is an interesting bromance to hear about Panatom and genetics because apparently this is a conversation that's been going on for years. Like as more and more information comes out, you two have like always been like vying to play with each other, or maybe just playing against each other. Like, how does that start? Did you just like when you competed, you just thought Panatom's sick and you thought he was sick and you thought, or how did it go?
At the beginning, I do remember like thinking like genetic was good, but not like that big of a deal. But I kind of realized. I kind of realized.
True. I mean,
I wasn't like that good, honestly, too. I remember I was like the doubt from Sanguine, you know, like a lot of people were like throwing flowers to Shinto or to even Netroid. No, it was Jarkor and Shinto. They always get all the like the
Metroid's
fame.
like, where are my flowers? I didn't see any flowers.
Yeah. So, as you know, like I used to play like to make them shine, you know, like I didn't have farm, I didn't have like heal, so. But
that's a very different playstyle from nowadays.
Yeah,
now we try to make Panny the...
yeah, I'm the president.
Please save the red buff.
I'm the president, I guess. But yeah, I kind of realized when he started playing on Kings, because like I hated to play against Kings, but I hated like so bad. If you leave the fire giant pit for like 3 seconds, they do fire. Like I knew he was that guy, and I felt like that was like really impactful because like I have only played like with 2 supports. Rongu was the one that I played with the most, and he didn't like do those calls. And I feel like a huge gap, you know, like after playing with genetics, I feel like really different game style.
Yeah, I mean, even watching you guys, the Oni Warriors in phase 1, not a whole lot of struggle, obviously, but it was always, let's get 4 kills, then we'll go back to the Fire Giant. Let's get 3 kills, then we'll go back to the Gold Fury. And nowadays, it's that playstyle you're talking about where, you know, you poke someone out in duo lane, or maybe someone just disappears for a second, and all of a sudden, Gold Fury's gone. No, everybody's still alive.
I don't think we're that much better at it. Like Penny and Daniel still call plenty of Gold Fury.
Okay.
It's not like we
used to do it before.
Used to do it a lot. Like I don't want to take credit for that. Like I feel like they played very similar. I think the only thing that's different now is like other teams have got better. Like Dragons are definitely going to get better with Coast. Leviathan's definitely better with Panda Cat. Ravens are definitely better with Zackman. Ferryman have stepped it up. I think they were kind of. I mean, they won the tournament, I guess, but I think Ferryman has stepped it up a little bit as well. So everyone else has got better. I mean, sure, these guys ran over people because they were shit. But now that people have got better, like, try a bit more.
Yeah, I do remember we used to do it like level 5. We have 5 shards, we go Gold Fury. Basically, it was like.
And the game was way more damage intensive.
Yeah,
so it was
you're
way
right.
more like it was way
because
more.
Because they do gold like level 5.
Yeah,
Like,
no
I remember he used to say like, I have XC, let's do gold. It was like, what? It was like too easy.
But I mean, mid jungle was so impactful. In my opinion, the first half of the year was just insane. So it was just impossible to beat the Warriors.
What are the impact roles right now? Like, what are you thinking in competitive? Because obviously it's a different beast from.
I mean,
ranked.
it's always going to be core. It's always going to be mid jungle support.
Yeah.
I don't know in that order. I don't think probably jungle support mid in comp, just because there's no fights happening without a reason. So you fight around relics a lot more, which is where support comes in. In ranked, obviously it's jungle and mid because you take brawls without relics. Yep. But yeah, I mean, it's definitely. I always think jungle's the most important role in the game.
Fair enough. I mean. What do you think, Panatom jungler?
I kind of think it's mid lane.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, what is it about mid, you think?
Because I feel like they do too much damage and they're really safe. Like, you look at the God pool, it's like, I don't want to play into like Morrigan or Baba Yagas.
Dude, Baba Yagas. Oh.
All the assassin mids either.
Yeah, the Zed, the Pale. It's like, I feel like mid is really broken, honestly.
Right.
Because they beat you as a jungler and they're really hard to kill. It's like, they win on both sides, you know?
Yeah, fair enough. What about you, Net? Are you an ADC believer? I feel like
No.
not a single Hunter player has ever once told me Hunter's the role.
Nah, hunters don't run the map, honestly. Like, I mean, they can get fed, of course, and they can get some levels on the enemy hunter, but you cannot do that if your mid laner is not winning or your jungler is not winning, you know? So most of the time it's decided in mid. Like, if your mid jungler gets a kill in mid, first blood in mid, the game is pretty much like 60%, 65, 1 to your side. And if nothing happens, it's just a matter of who farms better, who invades a little bit more. And that's pretty much it.
Yeah.
Fair enough. But you at least get an opportunity to feel out your lane opponent a little bit more. I mean, nowadays it feels like support hovers dual lane a bit more. You guys are there like 10 minutes instead of like 4 minutes and leaving. Yeah. But is there a Hunter player that you particularly like to play against? Is there someone that's like, well, this is a fun lane, you know, win or lose? With you guys, it seems like it's more often about the winning.
Yeah, right now right now it's not really a 1v1 meta, right? In duo, like as you mentioned, now it's basically a duo meta. Like for 10-15 minutes, the duo is just the support is with the ADC. So I mean, I will say who fights the most. I remember Quick and Coast used to like fight a lot as well. Like, maybe Horiwan as well. Horiwan dual lane, at least in phase one.
No,
in phase one, in phase one, Horiwan will get in there. He will die, but he will.
Sure, that makes sense.
He will get in there, you know, and yeah, it will make sense. It was fun, right? I mean, I was getting killed, so
yeah, fair enough.
But I would say that dual lane, like Quick Coast was a really aggressive dual lane as well, because Coast was running it down every single game. Like every scrim, he was running it down, trying to make something happen, which I respect. But yeah, I mean, that was fun. So
you like playing against the more aggressive laners? Let's win the box a little bit, have some fun. Anhur, you had strong feelings there about Hurrywin getting involved. Do you think he's taking a little bit more of a passive role here in phase 2?
Yeah, I mean,
we're gonna shit stomp him on Sunday, so
God bless.
I don't know. I guess he plays the meta picks, and for me, like playing against like every team, you know, like screaming, I feel like it's really easy to kill that guy. Like really easy. He's a free kill. I don't remember, like, for example, I'm playing Thor. I know if I walk him, he's dead. Like, no matter what. He can have, like, 5 defense items, and he's dead anyways. I don't know.
That's tank since
he received, like, more damage. I don't know why.
It just feels like the genetics is tankier or something.
Yeah, he'd be, like, Anhur with the Executor, and he's, like, more, like, tankiness than the guy's, like, how?
a debuff.
God bless. Is there a jungler that you particularly like laning against, or jungling against, I should say?
Not really. Like, I never liked to play against like any jungler or hate it, but before I used to hate to play against Cherry, man. Oh my god, I hate that.
What was it about Cherry?
He always invaded the back. I don't know how he always invaded. Oh, you know, no, actually, I do hate playing against Lasbra. I hate
Lasbra too?
Yeah, he do the same. He go to invade your speed when you are like doing something else. I hate that, man. I swear.
God, he's been doing that a lot recently.
Yeah, he did against Ode.
Yeah.
Oh,
dude,
when
Ode
I
got it like 4 times.
I hate it. I was like, how, man? How he keep getting away with that?
He shouldn't. I think they got him one time. They were finally ready for it, but yeah, it's hard to plan around that stuff. What about you, Genetics? Any dual lane or supports that catch your eye in the league right now?
I don't know. Support's just really weird. I don't like playing against Mike because Mike always counterpicks. That's the only thing with Mike. I guess that's the only thing that I don't like about Mike. Is always that's son up. He's always counterpicking me. But I don't know. I just like people that will pick their best god and play it into any matchup, no matter what. So anyone that's like willing to pick Yamodra against me rather than banning it, you know, I'll be happy to.
Fair enough.
Play against that.
That's interesting. So it really is like you like it when the competition's like heavy, right? Like do you want it to be like a hard lane? Because I've played with a lot of players in the past, and I've talked to a lot of players since I've been casting here, and I feel like they fall solidly within one of two camps. There's the guy who's like, if I could just have every game for the rest of my year be the easiest game of all time, like 3-0s every time, 20 minutes, I don't want to have anybody fight back. It's all about the win. And then there's some players that are like, they just love competition. They want it to be a hard-fought battle. If games go 60 minutes, they're happy about it. They want it to be back and forth. Where do you guys find yourself in that camp?
I mean, I personally want it to be as clean as possible and just sweep over people. Like, when I want to join this team, like I didn't want to slow them down at all. Like, I mean, our game time difference between every other team is just ridiculous. Like, our game time's like 25 minutes, which is the same as almost last split. Everyone else is like over 30 now. So like, I want games. If you've got an advantage, like I say this a lot as well. Like, if we have a small lead, and me and Daniel agree on this, is one thing we agree on. Sometimes we'll go like, we think it's like 20 minutes in the game, we could have won earlier, man. We're not happy with it because you should just like squeeze and squeeze and squeeze until you kill the Titan. So I guess as fast as possible is how I like to play.
No, I like that a lot, and that's something the Warriors have always done. It feels like anytime there's a lead in like a lane, if Netroid's ahead, you're invading every purple buff. If SOT is doing whatever SOT is doing, he's solo invading speed buff. When Panatom's ahead, he's everywhere on the map. So you guys definitely do play with your pressure very well. What do you think is holding back other teams in the league? Because getting those early game leads is not an Oni Warriors exclusive thing. We see it from the Dragons pretty consistently. I believe there was like a 10K gold lead in 15 minutes in one of their sets last weekend. We see it from the Ravens. They get pretty consistent early game leads, Gladiators as well. Is it just your ability to push that lead? Is it decision making on structures, objectives? Like, what is it that is making the Oni Warriors consistently so much faster?
I mean, I think it, I don't know. I'm trying to think how to word this.
Don't want to give away too much.
Well, it's not giving away too much. It's just confidence. Like I play the same in ranked as I play in comp. I'm not going to be scared of anyone. Some teams definitely play up and some teams definitely play down for invading and such. Like, I know Kings, like when I was on the team in the first split, like I wanted to push the lead. I wanted to play Oni Warriors, like a lot more aggressive, and they didn't want to invade. It means you get to late game guaranteed, but you never like snowball a game truly. For this team, like everyone on this team has no fear. Like they're down to get involved and like they know their role. I mean, other teams do it too. I just think like you need to be like constantly like engaged and active on the map.
Yeah, the 5-man willingness to be jumping over walls. How many mid laners are locking in Raijin?
Not playing for KD.
Yeah, I actually, I do agree with.
Daniel. It might be Daniel that just causes it. Honestly.
I do agree with Sam. He made me like realize like it's actually that like we are like that confident, for example, to take a 2v2 because we know we're gonna win that. We know like we are better mechanically than them, and that's kind of like push the games like faster, I will say. Like, because like every time we can do an objective or take a fight, we will do it because like we are confident that we're gonna win it. So that's really it. Yeah.
And it really seems like too that confidence it transitions well as the comms. Every time we tune in and have the opportunity to hear the Oni Warriors, it's you guys calling for penta kills or you guys calling for, all right, we're just gonna run them over. Like it's not target selection. It's okay, we'll go to the Fire Giant afterward, but it's really just everybody seems to be on the same page, and that page is continue moving forward and getting aggressive. Netroid, you actually, I'm gonna give you a shout out here. Your comms during that penta kill were hilarious for me. You don't say anything the whole time. Like you call penta once, and then you're like, all right, I'm just gonna go end the game while they're still on a triple. You're like, all right,
I saw them clean it up. I saw SOT wanted to get his penta, and I was like, yeah, there's nothing to say for me. I'm just gonna run it down mid. I'm gonna end the game until SOT gets his penta.
Just like Scrims though as well. Like you're just always you're the objective guy.
Yeah, I'm just hitting the Phoenix. Like I'm trying always to hit the Phoenix, hit the person that Phoenix, Fire or Titan, while my team or Pagon or SOT are just like, oh, give me the penta. No, I want this kill. Or something like that. Because someone has to do it, right? Imagine if I just join them, it will be the games will go like to 60 minutes probably. But
that's interesting.
I mean, I think one of the reasons as well for us that we do that is we don't play for KDA most of the time. So I mean,
clearly,
yeah. I mean, sometimes you could see someone being like, for example, Pani. Most of the time is like 7-0, 10-1.
But I actually don't play for KDA.
Yeah, that's the thing. So yes, I guess like nobody plays for KDA. Like everyone is willing to dash in, die, but do his job, you know. So
is there ever a conversation where like Panatom survives a fight and like maybe you should have died there, like maybe you should have stayed
no
there,
we have never said that. Maybe
actually we do because of the bounties.
Yeah,
we used to do it because like don't die, you are 10-0, like that kill is gonna give him 1,000 gold. Don't die, just play safe.
Go give it to the support or something.
Yeah, that actually happened like a couple times, like even more for me, I will say. Because like I feel like every time Pegon get a kill, he dies, like because he dashed in. But for me, like I always go to clean up what Pegon did.
Yeah.
So I'm probably like I always say my KDA. I will say because of the bounty.
Well, if support gets a shutdown on a jungler, like if you're like 10-0 and you support and you get a shutdown, you're getting like 1,000 gold and like 3 levels.
And you know the enemy support's never catching up now.
Yeah, it's literally impossible. You have to farm like 10 waves, which is never going to happen in comp. So it's
winning the lottery. Yeah, pretty much.
Fair enough. How do you guys feel about the meta as it stands? Like, are you fans of the current pace of game? Do you think that other teams of the league have kind of picked up on the meta, or is it still developing, or where are we at with that?
I like the meta. I wish they'd change a few things, just because we've had the same meta now for about a month and a half. It's honestly a very open meta. Like they only have to like nerf like a few numbers on each top character, and for me, it's been the most open picks and bans have been in a long time.
Except for Chernobog, who is first pick and ban.
Yeah, but even Chernobog's close to not being top in. Like he's like
really?
Kind of, yeah. It's weird. Because you'll see like a lot. I've seen like a post on Reddit about this. Like everyone's like, "What's going on with picks and bans in SPL?" the value of picks is just going up and down constantly because there's like 20 top picks right now that you could pick and be like, okay, it's not a bad draft.
No, fair enough.
So I wish they'd change a few things. Maybe the value of a shield buff would be nice. Just it spawns a little bit too early. Like I think junglers should not be able to come for that as easily.
And then gank you at level 3 just about.
Yeah, that's always a big issue. Just because, especially with like, you don't want to buy wards early in duo lane, so it's why they should buff vision shard so then you can ward duo and then you don't have to worry about the jungle coming over. But
then you don't have Carapace or Horn Shard. Or
I don't even use that in support anyway. That's the thing. I don't use that anyway.
Really?
So, no, there's no point. I feel like ADCs use their wing shard quite a lot, but support barely uses that. I use my horn shard. I like my Khepri. I'll 2-3 the wave, then I'll pop horn shard for next wave.
Yeah, Horn Shard's so difficult to utilize. I feel like unless you're in like in a soul lane, and you're just like boxing constantly. But support's really, I think, at the short end of the shard stick, if you would.
Yeah.
You want a free ward? I mean, I guess.
That's what I want.
What about you, Panatom? Happy with the meta right now? Seeming as you are like on the Oni Warriors, the meta guy. Like if Thor Susanna's good, you're gonna play it every single game. These guys will have a little bit more fun with their god pools. How are you feeling about it?
I do like the meta. Like, I do agree with Sam again. Like, the meta is like really open. I feel like in jungle you can play like almost everything. If you play correctly, you're gonna be impactful. But my problem is like the gods that are like kind of the best are the ones that are the most annoying. You know, like Yemoja, Baba Yaga, Chernobog. Those gods kind of like don't let you play the game. Maybe at least as a jungle, like all around too. Like you're gonna pick like half of the gods on the jungle because of all around. Like for example, you don't want to go in with Pele into another ult, for example. That kind of happens with almost everything on the meta. Like same with Ganesh, same with Ares. But I feel like if they kind of nerf those gods a bit, it's gonna be like more openly, and I like that. I like the possibility of not playing like 3 gods every game, because I do remember the meta of the Warriors. I hate that. Like I had to play Gilgamesh, Osiris, Erlang every single game. I hate that.
Pressure,
I
auto
hate
attacks.
That. Yeah.
It has been a treat getting to see you get on the more traditional assassins again in phase 2. It has been very fun to watch. In particular that Susanna, I think, it has been a fan favorite. What about you, Net? Magical Hunter meta. You like it? You want to get back on the physicals? Do you miss crit? Do you want yellow numbers? Is Odysseus bow like dreaming about it when you got to do AoE damage?
I mean, right now, everything you mentioned, kind of the magical ADCs that do it, like all around crits, there's a crit. Yellow numbers, there's stealthiness, you can build poly.
Yeah.
Pressure, they have it. So, I mean, right now, I feel like magical hunters are like just on top of the physical hunters, just because of the items, I will say, and also the possibility of insta-clearing waves with their abilities. But, of course, I miss the physical hunters because they play differently, You cannot insta-win a 1v1 just because being Freya, just because you're like Sol all around, like any magical hunter. Even Chronos, if you pick Chronos right now, you will basically be winning against a physical hunter, in my opinion. But yeah, I mean, I miss it. I miss the physical hunters. I miss going for 1v1s with physical hunters as well. It's different.
It's a much more fun boxing match with the hunters. It's about who's landing their auto attacks instead of who landed their stun or knockup or something like that.
Yeah, so yeah, pretty much that. Also, I kind of hate, for example, this item called Fatalis. I feel like Fatalis. I feel like, for example, Freya, one of the reasons she's like really busted is because of that ring, pretty much. Like Fatalis just makes her busted, and I feel like that's kind of unfair because physical hunters don't have a Fatalis, while a magical hunter.
They get like a nerfed version of it. It's not very good.
And you have to get a kill with that. So, and with Fatalis on hunters, magical hunters, you can go Fatalis with anyone. Like I could go, for example, with Olorun Fatalis first item, and I will win the 1v1 because of Fatalis. So
yeah.
I feel like that item should not be in the game, or at least put it on the physical hunters. But yeah, I mean, I've been liking it overall.
So if you could make a change, you'd give a hastened effect to physical hunters, or do you think there's anything else that could be
You
adjusted?
either give them so that they can match the magical hunters with some sort of internal cooldown as well, or you just remove it from the game like they did with abilities, right? You remember Erlang Fatalis, Jingwei Fatalis, Chronos Fatalis, Sol Fatalis.
It's a good time to be a
Everyone had a Fatalis on their kit.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
That's a fun game to play. Let's go around the table. Janex, I'll start with you. If you could remove something from Smite, be a character or an item or a buff or an objective, whatever it is, if you could remove one thing from Smite, what would it be?
Speed buff.
Speed buff?
You're such a hater.
You are a hater, bro. Panatom, how does that make you feel, man? He wants our buff, bro.
I'm building Winged Blade then.
It's fine. I don't know. I think like it's a big design flaw. It's like, for example, League of Legends has Flash, and it's such a core relic that they can't get rid of because everyone's so used to building
5-minute cooldown.
And it's like it's a combat blink, and no one wants that in Smite, but it's like so integral in that game. It's like speed buff in Smite. Like speed buff's not fair. Like it doesn't make sense. Like there should be a jungle buff like that gives them the. So in my opinion, supports and junglers shouldn't have to build support and jungle starter items. They should be able to build whatever they want, and they should have the buff that enables them to be that. So there should be like a support buff and a jungle buff. Like if you're
what would the jungle buff do?
Jungle would be like just increase clear and increase regeneration from killing camps. So replace the starters passives. Then they can build Tainted, they could build War Flag, they can build anything they want. I think that'd be really cool. For supports, there should be a buff that gives if you're the lowest farm on the team, you get bonus health, bonus mana, bonus gold. I think that would be really cool. Because speed buff's just so silly. It's so silly in ranked as well. It makes the game so hard to balance because junglers just go left, right, left, right, left, right, left, right. 10-0. It's like.
And the map is getting bigger. It's like.
Yeah.
Like
that's why we gotta go fast.
Yeah, every season
so
is getting bigger. Yeah, it's like.
I'm just a big speed buff hater. I think like movement speed is such a valuable stat and it's so hard to build into.
It is frustrating, especially for the non-jungler roles, where you're like, maybe I could just like outplay him a little. I'll run away from him. Oh, he's faster than me, and he's also got the leap, so he chased me over the wall.
Yeah, they're not also faster. They have a blink.
They got a
through
blink,
walls, They have a jump. They have an.
Yeah, after playing with Twig for a long time, I kind of like started recognizing how OP movement speed was, and kind of like it actually is very, very silly to have.
So speed buff and green buff for genetics. What about you, Panatom? What are you taking away?
Ganesh.
Ganesh too. No, but honestly, I'm kind of hated of those type of gods that don't let you play the game. For example, like it's not fun to play against Charon. It's not fun to play against Ganesh, against
Genoing supports, Khepri, Gab.
Yeah, they basically don't let you play the game. Like it's not, for example, to Nike ult. It's like not fun to hit the Nike shield. It's like it feels like you feel useless. Yeah. I hate that on the game. Same with Creed.
Oh,
yeah, like, getting random 1000.
Yeah, it's like it's so unfair. Like no way I full combo that guy, and he hit one auto, hit me for 1,000, and heal all the HP. Like it's so.
He healed for 600 too. Aussie,
yeah.
I'm an ADC player, and I kind of agree with that. RNG numbers, I don't think they're healthy for like. I mean, they're cool.
They are fun. They are
fun.
It is very fun.
And
you'll find two camps in the Oni Warriors. You'll see Sot and Peg on the side of fun, and we'll be on the side of balancing.
Okay.
It's very split. And it's like, and it's Sot will be like, no, I don't know if that. I'm like, yeah, but it's really not. It's really not balanced. It'll be like, yeah, but it's fun though.
30% of the time, I just win the fight. You know, it's really nice.
What happened recently where like we were giving feedback about the game and like we were completely on different pages. I think it happened with Scream and Horrywin too. Like they give very different takes in the game.
Yeah, I love
Scream's
seeing
like
how you guys
Scream's
are,
like
bro.
the thing about Anhur is like as soon as I played Anhur, Scream was like, oh, Anhur support's fine, no support. And then Tyler's just always in my chat like, support moment whenever I'm losing the game. I like that divide between people.
Yeah, it's interesting to see that the pros, like the SMITEPro League, is not a monolith. Like it really is diverse opinions, and everybody has their own thoughts on like what they want changed or what they would like to see added or removed. And speaking of Naturwood, what are you taking out? What are you getting rid of? Could just be the hasten, as you were saying.
Yeah, but I will also. I had always an idea right before with crit, for example. I will remove crit and have a way of passive on hunters. For example, every third auto is gonna do more damage, or every 2 auto on the minions or on god. So that it creates a mini game in the lane at least, you know. So for example, you hit 2 autos on the wave, you don't have crit anymore, but your third auto is gonna do more damage. So you will go for the third auto on the enemy hunter. And you kind of like start poking each other, kind of like.
Yeah, those are kind of like the what are they called? The auto progressions on certain because like Heimdall, the big overhead feels really good.
Something to make the lane better and not, for example, right now in ranked, I could go in ranked, I could build second crit item if I wanted to, and just win every single 1v1 because I'm building an RNG item. If I get a crit, I win it already. So that's not fun, right? So if crit becomes meta, for example, even in SPL, it's just whoever gets the more crits is just gonna win, you know. So I kind of hate that. And I will just have some mini games like every third auto, every 2 auto, something to make it like, at least for ADC.
Yeah, something to make it a little bit more interactive in lane, maybe. God, for me, I think I'm with you, Panatom. I just don't. If I walk up and I'm like, I've got him, you know, this guy, I force his leap by standing aggressively. He's jumped away. I've chased him down. I'm right next to him. Oh, Ganesh silence. Oh,
yeah.
Okay. Okay. He's low. Ganesh silence wore off. Oh, Khepri ult.
Yeah, and it's not like even into assassin. Like you don't want to be like any warrior or jungler or support into that. Like it's so fun.
I don't know. Maybe there's some executes and stuff like that could come back. Things like that.
Executes don't counter Khepri though.
Do they not?
No.
Is that propaganda?
It's not propaganda. I'm being serious.
What is it? How's he not?
It's just they just don't.
No, fair enough. Fair enough.
I've always said it. They just don't.
All right, all the players out there watching.
If I pick,
Gnags is trying to trick you. Okay.
Pick Thanatos and Achilles against me, and I'm going. It's not going to do it. I swear, actually, not even joking. Xyz they don't really work that well against them.
Fair enough.
I don't know. I think I kind of agree with Panny in a way. Like I think ults that are really like very anti-fun shouldn't be in the game. So for example, your Yamudra ult throws at 2 massive walls. There should be one wall. It should be division wall, like a one wall. So it does split the fire, but it doesn't split the fire into 3 areas.
Yeah.
That'd be a lot more cool then.
But then it's like a Thor wall.
Yeah, but it's a big one though.
It's a big
one.
one.
You can auto through it. Like, you can roll.
I think like I mean, it depends on the game, the design of the game, right? But like, there's gods that are very ult heavy and very like base get heavy. So like Nike's very ult heavy, Yamoja's very ult heavy.
Some fun.
Actually, that happened with a lot of gods, right? Because it happened before with, let's say, Kumba or Nuts or Afro. Those gods, they just don't let you play the game, basically.
Kumbas. I remember when he first came, I was like, oh, he mezzes me. Oh, he roots me. Oh, okay. And now I'm in the air.
And now he cripples.
Yeah, now he cripples. And then I landed from the epic uppercut. And I mezzed again. Like,
oh yeah, I do. You made me remember. I do him play against Cabra, man. Like, he stunned you, he 2, then he 3. You caught his 3, then he stunned you again.
Yep.
And then the 3 again. It's like, what? It's so fun, bro, to play against. I hate it, I swear.
That was a fun change, though. I thought he'd be top pick, top ban, but he didn't
really?
at all.
Yeah, what is it about Charon, you think, that's holding him back?
Charon.
Or Chiron, excuse me.
Oh, I said Cabra.
Cabra. Oh my God.
Same thing, though.
I'm going lost.
They're both not very good, so.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what is it that's holding them back? You think?
Bracken just needs a very specific game because he doesn't have a lot of range. Gods that are blink like require blink for the most part, like gods that like want to get involved, they usually require like a 4th or 5th pick to like make sure they counter something. So like Bracken used to be top pick against like Freya, Cupid because of the slow immunity. It just stops them using all their CC. Charon. I think if they ever buff his 3 to be a root duration for 1.5 seconds, it'd probably be pretty good. But when he first came out, he had the same problem as Maui. I said he's just missing something. He needs one little change and it'll be really good. If they buff the boat's root to 1.5, I reckon it'd be a top pick. But like lack of guaranteed CC, I think.
Add a cripple. Add a cripple.
I thought.
When in doubt, add a cripple. You know.
I thought he was going to be a top pick because when I saw his 2, I said like that's
He's
better than
shielding.
Yemoya. Yeah,
He's shielding me.
I said like that's better than Yemoya too.
I told him, kind of. It's always difficult because Charon in ranked is a different beast. Charon in ranked is ridiculous.
Oh yeah, you just stay in the fight forever, and no one can kill you.
Yeah, and you can solo people as well. But in comp, it's just a little bit different. And it's been tried and it doesn't work. Like it's not like people haven't tried it.
Yeah, Charon is in a very interesting spot. All right, well, we got time for one more here. I want to hear thoughts on, and feel free not to reveal too much, Maman Brigitte. Oh. Because I feel strongly about this pick. Naturally, you're already shaking your head.
I'm shaking because she's so fun to play.
Isn't she incredibly fun? She's a very unique play style. But do you think she's strong? Can you see her working competitively? Because it feels like it's, and this is something I've run into personally playing against her. I can't get my Aegis timing down. I just don't know when the spikes are going to lodge in my head or when the damage is coming. Is that something you could see playing into competitive, or do you think maybe there's going to be a better answer once she's there?
I think there's going to be a better answer when she's there, but right now, like from what I've played, I feel like she's really fun to play, and I feel like she basically has no counter from what I've played in casuals. But the best person to answer that question is that guy over there.
Have you been playing?
Yeah, I have played. I love Brigitte. I love the character because she felt like high risk and higher like reward.
Very high risk, yeah.
High risk and high reward because like if you play correctly, you're immune on your knockup, like you are countering everyone, and if you use your trick correctly, you basically have an Aegis. And I feel like you have to be good and really like good reactions to make it like work. And she feels really, really strong, honestly. If you play correctly, she's broken for sure.
How do you feel about her power curve? Because that seems to be an issue with a lot of the magical junglers right now, with early game being so pressure centric, especially out of the jungle. At least that seems to be the answer that a lot of teams in the league have come up with. Magical jungles seem to take a backseat, and we saw that from the Dragon set most recently. Lazar running the early game, locks in Hebo, has to take a backseat to level 10.
Yeah,
things look a little bit rough. Do you think Maman's still okay in the early, or is it, if I get to late, I'll win us the game, feels really good, or does she have a little bit more to say in the early?
She's probably better on the early game compared to the magical junglers, but I feel I have an answer for that. I have a build.
Oh, you have a build.
I'm gonna save it. I'm gonna save it.
Okay, fair enough. Fair enough.
I'm gonna save it. You're gonna show it in SPL if it's open. So
I'm excited. I will mark my calendar for her competitive debut. I'll be very excited to see you play it. Genetics, final thoughts on Maman Brigitte?
I've played her once in arena for about 5 minutes. Didn't understand her.
She is weird.
She looks very weird. I tried to play. I didn't enjoy playing because I had no idea what she did. But she looks fun. I like her design.
It is very noob unfriendly. I'll say I played 5 games of her before I realized you were supposed to cancel the one.
yeah,
I had no idea.
It happened the same to me.
I had no. I was like, bro, when I just hit them with the stun, it feels really good, and they're just dying. And but if you cancel the one, her DPS is
Yeah.
so
I've
crazy.
never felt more noob in the last 3 years than playing that character on stream. I just.
Fair enough.
I was getting told what to do by people that were like gold, and then you bet.
And you were like, oh, that's actually really.
I was like, oh, usually I'd be like, shut up. But then I was like, oh, you know what? You actually fair play.
Fair play, Fire Mage 12 in the chat.
Yeah.
So you heard it here first, Aggro. I know you're watching. Make your gods a little bit easier for us to play.
Oh, it's good. It's good design.
It's good. It's good. I
Okay,
love
never
it.
mind. Keep them hard. We like hard characters around
it.
here. Well, we got the best players in the world in the league, right? You're all gonna say stuff like that. You love the high skill ceilings. This has been the Oni Warriors, a team check-in. Thank you very much for tuning in.